Hello, everybody, and welcome to Dishing with Stephanie's Dish, the podcast where we talk about food. A lot of times we talk to cookbook authors and kind of understand their process and what they're doing. Well, I'm just noticing my hair is real bedhead, but it is what it is, friends. In this particular episode, I want to talk to my friend Michael Kenney. He is from Defined Destinations. He owns his own business, and it's a travel company. And Michael and I met about 3 years ago now, and we have done a number of trips together. And we are planning our April trip, which is going to be to Turkey. And we have a lot of different cities that we're going to visit. And one of the things that I've heard from a lot of people is they all know we're going to Turkey and they want to hear about it and they're excited to know about the destination, but they're nervous about signing up for the trip. So I said to Michael, let's just talk, let's do a podcast where we give people an idea of what to expect, where we're going, what kind of things we're going to see. My friend Todd Walker, coincidentally, he's in Turkey right now. And he said, and he travels all over. He works for the Viking Cruise Lines, doing trips for them and helping to write about them and help people experience them. He sent me a text and he said Turkey is in his top three places he's ever been. He's just super hot on it. He's like, you are totally going at the exact right time because he's like, people are just starting to learn about it, but there's so many cool things. He said it's a trip like nothing he's ever experienced before. So, Michael, I'm excited to talk to you about it. And people ask me, like, well, why did you pick Turkey? And I was like, why not? I met a guy 20 years ago in Paris that was from Turkey. And first of all, he was gorgeous. So let's just go there. But second of all, he really he just was telling me about where he lived and what Turkey was like and what the food was like. And he talked to me about the spice trail and kind of how people came in through Istanbul and then crossed over into Italy and into Spain. And it made me feel like, wow, okay, Turkey is this very Mediterranean feeling place with tons of culture, and I've always wanted to go there. So I picked it, Michael. Why did you allow me to pick Turkey, knowing that it would be a destination that would be harder to sell for people?
Yeah, I think that's what's great. And thanks for having me on, Stephanie.
Mhm.
It's always a blast, to travel with you and with your listeners. It just we've built some really great bonds with the people, which has been a fun. So even our latest trip to Sicily, what a blast and great people. But
Yes.
going back, to why we choose this and with Turkey, and that's what's great about you. It's like you're willing to try some new areas, and a lot of people are like, well, I've heard of Turkey. Um, I don't know much about it. And I think that's where we both kind of glammed on, like, let's go and let's have this experience. And we've been putting group trips together for 27 years. And we have some great partners and some Turkish partners too that can really open up the eyes. I know several people that have been to Istanbul, and everyone's heard of Istanbul, like, oh, it's a top five city on earth for a lot of people. And you're probably wondering, well, why? So I encourage you to kind of jump in, look at our website, do a little research on that. But Turkey is so much more than that. They have absolutely stunning beaches, their food culture, their spices, the seaside communities, the Roman ruins. They have so much in different little pockets. So Turkey offers, and I think that's what maybe gravitated you and I both to it, just the diversity and still a little of that wonder, like what's in Turkey. And I think we talked about a little earlier before the podcast about some of the places that are kind of overrun with tourists, and definitely Turkey's not there. It will be at some point. So it's kind of fun to get on maybe the ground level to get to some of these places, and not just Istanbul, because it is busy, but some of the other places that we're going to go, from Ephesus to Cappadocia or Pamukkale. There's so many different places that are on this trip that you've never even heard of. So it's kind of like, well, I haven't really heard of that. Go look at our website. Go do a little research on the internet and see what it's so amazing. The Europeans, they know of Turkey really, really well because it's a quick flight and they absolutely love it. I'm in Europe 9 times a year, and the folks that I talk with over there, they absolutely love it. So it's kind of like a discovery trip for Americans. And what's great about our trip, it's fully guided. We have 31 meals included, We have the inner flight inside Turkey included, so there's really no out-of-pocket expense for that. So you can really sit back and relax and take in the best of Turkey with our local guides. And there's just so much. And I think that's what's going to be kind of fun to go discover this place. In our group is going to be no more than 15 people. It's a small group experience, so you can really relax and enjoy that. And I know folks that maybe, well, what's a group tour? I think you even mentioned that too. For some people, like, well, what do you do? It's again, we've kind of handled everything. We've taken care of the hotels, the buses, the cooking class that we're going to do. I mean, you might want to touch on that later on. But we've taken all of that, these best of experiences, and put it in one itinerary so you can sit back and relax and know that you're going to see the best of Turkey.
I think explaining my husband Kurt's sort of transformation is good to hear. My husband is an independent person. He's owned his own business. He's a sailor. He has no interest really in group travel. Like when I brought it up to him and that I was going to start leading trips, he was like, "Why would you want to do that? Why would you want to be with people you don't even know?" Like he is just anti-group travel as a rule. And he came on our first trip. He wanted to come with us when we went to Cambodia and we went to Vietnam. He knew that he would never plan a trip to Asia on his own. So he thought, well, I'll go along on this group travel and I'll just suck up the group travel part because I get to go to this cool destination. Well, what happened is he loved it. He liked group travel. He liked meeting new people. He liked not being the person that had to be in charge of making sure that we got our luggage to the room and that we made it to the right flights and that he had to carry all the stuff and all the itinerary. He kind of liked that he wasn't responsible for all that. And he liked the food. He liked meeting the people. He liked not having to be in a city he'd never been in and figure out exactly where we were going to eat every single meal. We had flexibility, obviously, on these trips. We want it to be your trip. In our Sicily experience, you mentioned a couple times, like, if this doesn't feel like something you want to do, then don't do it. Do something else for the day. We can help you orchestrate other things. He really loved the idea that he didn't have to do everything. And in fact, when we did our cooking class in Sicily, which was amazing, by the way, we learned to make arancini, which they call arancina. We made a thing called a panella, which was a chickpea pancake that they eat in a
So
sandwich,
good.
which was kind of different. But Kurt didn't want to do the cooking class. He was like, you know what? I think I'm just going to go walk around the city. So him and another friend peeled off. And like that's the joy of these trips. We plan everything, but if you're tired or if you just want a day of rest, you can do that too. We really try to make it so that we know it's your experience. We're not as interested in you just being forced to come along on things that you're not interested in. We're interested in your experience. We want you to have a good time. So if Kurt Johnson can get turned on to group travel, I feel like seriously anyone can.
No, that's well said. I would have never guessed that about Kurt initially, and I wouldn't call him an introvert by any means. But I think we get, a lot of people like that with Kurt. Maybe their husband or their wife drags them on a trip, and they're like, you know what, this is actually pretty cool, especially for the person that maybe is doing typically all the planning. And it's stressful. We do all that for you, but you can really again sit back and enjoy. You spend a lot of money to go on these trips and that's what we want. So we want you to feel like you have that freedom too. And we set up our hotels in nice central locations in safe areas too that you can go out and explore. So we encourage you to do that. But honestly, we feel pretty good that the pace of these trips are designed really well, that you have that flexibility because we want you, yes, you're in a group, even a small group, but we want to make it feel like you're having these experiences with a friend or a family member that's with you too, that you feel like you're having these little exploring trips, but it's all kind of put together already for you. But again, we have time for you to go exploring, to have these other experiences, which is really, really important. Balance is so important. Over 27 years, I think we focus on that so we know that people are comfortable having that free time to explore, but again having the framework of an itinerary with experiences. Typically we might do a city tour in the morning and then have the rest of your day free to have your own exploring. Then maybe for especially for this trip with the 31 meals, that will meet up and have dinner in a place. And again, they've all been curated with our local team too in the area that you're going to have foods local from the area in great mom pa type of restaurants. So sometimes it's stressful when you're trying to figure out where am I going to go eat? What should I do? I want to make sure the dinner is going to be great. We've got that taken care of so you can sit back and relax. And again, we know most of you probably have not heard of a lot of these places. Please, we implore you to go and take a look at the itinerary. Do a little research because I guarantee it in a few years from now, these are going to be mainstream and you'll be able to go explore and see these places before they're overly busy. So
It was
take a look at
pretty
this itinerary.
I was impressed because when I first was thinking about Turkey, I went on a map and I didn't realize, like, when I started going to Croatia, I didn't realize how close Croatia is to Italy, that literally they share a sea, and that a lot of Italians use Croatia as their summer vacation spot.
Yeah,
And I didn't also realize that Turkey and Italy are very close, and that a lot of Europeans, because they've got EasyJet there, that's an Italian airline, they're going to Turkey like we would be going to Palm Springs. I mean, a lot of Europeans are
yep.
experiencing Turkey, and it's just not a destination that a lot of Americans are familiar with, but a lot of people are going there and having fun, doing fun things. It's been so fun for me to watch my friend Todd Walker because he went to Cappadocia, which is a city that we're going to go to, and they have all these fairy houses that are like these stone, they look like dunce caps, sort of. They're these weird structures. And he like actually spent the night in one of them. He did a hot air balloon ride there, which is part of our itinerary if someone wants to add that on. I know Kurt's going to do that.
Yeah.
It's like he went and he had all this video of it where there's 140 hot air balloons going up kind of all at once out of this city. It just looks so completely cool. And then the huge market. There's like the world's largest market. So all of these trips, I always end up with a group of great women shoppers. And I'm like, okay, bring an extra bag, ladies, because you're going to come home with a rug. You're going to come home with all of these spices. There's 4,000 stalls in the Grand Market in Istanbul. Did you know that?
Yeah, the Grand Bazaar. I didn't know exactly how many, but
Yeah.
yeah, it's massive.
So just that, like I love getting into a market and just like seeing all the different things, feeling all the different spices. In Sicily, we had an opportunity to go to the market, and afterwards we had our local guide that kind of takes you around and shows you where everything is and gives you a sense of maybe what to look for at the market. And then we split up. And Kurt and I, he just wanted to drink beer in the market and kind of experience feeling in the market. So we went and got sandwiches. But a bunch of other people like shopped till they dropped. Like they had huge shopping bags full of stuff. So if your jam is shopping, great. If your jam is just sitting and taking in the culture, great. Like you can also learn more about a city by spending time with the city guides that are with us. They're always having lunch with us, and we have a bus driver that we get to know in certain trips. It really just, we just got back from Sicily and we had such a great experience. We had such a great trip. It was probably one of my favorite groups because a lot of the folks had traveled with us before, so we really knew each other too. It's group travel is really fun. I don't know, I'm really jazzed about it, and I'm jazzed about Turkey and I want people to come. If you could describe Ephesus, because that's a place that I haven't been before and you
Hmm.
have, what is
Hmm.
that like?
Yeah, Ephesus. Built by the Romans in the time of Christ, so 2,000 years ago. And you're walking through, it's unbelievable. It's not like when you're at the Roman Colosseum or that area around there. That's actually it feels like it's in more in ruins, if you will. But you're like in this village, um, this Roman village that you can think of the Apostles' Walk. Maybe if you're, religious, Mary, Jesus' mother, has walked, and still the stone streets are there. A lot of the buildings are in ruins, but the library, the whole front facade is still there. It's unreal. It feels like you're just being brought back in time, and there's truly nothing like Ephesus, which is just right outside of the village of Kusadasi or city in Turkey. But it's like if I could have an analogy, like you're in Rome, but to another level that it's much more, I would say, intact. Still in ruins, but
Yeah.
intact. but this village that it's in hibernation. So walking these streets, and we have these local guides, as you touched on too, that kind of can bring everything to life. So you're not looking through your book and trying to like, well, what is this? You listen to an audio guide or our local guide speaking about that. So you're learning about the history. But Ephesus is unbelievable, and we're not going to see. There's other ruins and more Roman sites and throughout this trip. So you'll really get, a history. I wouldn't say a deep dive. They touch on it, so you're not like, oh, this is so boring. But you even said it's a trip like this is great for shoppers if you want to shop. I'm not a shopper. I like to do what Kurt does: sit down, maybe have a beer, and take it all in, and do nothing. Just take in the people walking around, the smells. There's truly nothing like it. And again, I think this trip to Turkey really offers that potpourri of different experiences. So if you're a foodie, if you're into photography, to culture, to history, this trip really ticks all the boxes, and I guarantee it, you'll love it. You'll love the trip, but then even at the end, there's a great chance you're going to make lifelong friends on a trip like this too. So it really ticks a box of experiences. So hopefully, April is a great time to go to. The temperatures you can expect, low 70s, 50s, 60s at night. So it's really comfortable, not like in the summer when it's really
Yeah,
busy
super
and
hot.
gets busier with the Europeans and the temperature's hotter. This April time is a great time to visit for sure.
Can you talk a little bit about what the food is like? Like, I have an idea, but I don't really know. Like, is it Mediterranean? Is it like meat and pomegranates and couscous?
Yep, you're nailing it right now. No, it is like that. So I think I encourage again people to look online too to see what some of these are. But you've heard of baklava or kebabs, the lamb, the beef, the chicken. They have the different kebabs, lots of different spices, um, ganache, esme, like fried dishes too. But then there's a lot of cooked on open fires. But I wouldn't necessarily say it's comfort food like German, in having some of the staples that you might know, but still something that's not too odd. It's probably more closer to home than maybe some of the French food you would see. But you'll see a lot of lamb, the beef. I said some of the fried foods, lots of from your Turkish delights and different things like that. So I think even when we're walking around in the market, you'll get that, and then we'll at our dinners have different meals as well that will infuse some of these different experiences. So it won't be something completely foreign, but it'll be comfortable enough that I think you'll enjoy it. But it definitely be a nice array of different experiences with the food.
I haven't told you this, but one of the places, and I don't know where I'm going to do this, but I am going to find. Have you ever been to a Haman or done the spa experience where like you lay on like hot marble and it's sort of like a sauna and you get sweaty and then you like go into a room and they like brush you with salt and scrubby things and like completely clean you. It's a Muslim tradition.
Yep.
And it's the most amazing thing I've ever done. I did this in Athens and I loved it so much. We went 3 times while we were in Athens. I'm going
Wow.
to find a spa that does this there. I don't know in what city or where we are, but I know a local guide can help me when we get there.
Yep. Yep.
Both Kurt and I, it was just the most amazing, relaxing experience. Just someone scrubbing you with all these different herbs and salts, and they have weird little brushes that your eyes are closed and you can't even like. One of them was this big, puffy, like pillow feeling that was running across the top of your body. It was so weird, but so great.
Yeah, I haven't done it. I've seen them. I've done like the part that we're just going in like in the sauna or is the steam bath. That's it. I haven't had the full rub down yet. Maybe on this
We're
Turkish
gonna do it.
trip.
Yeah,
I'll
it's great.
I'll do it. No, it'll be fun, but no, it's very popular over there, the Turkish imams, to do that. So there definitely will be that opportunity. I'll give it a shot. It'll be interesting to have someone scrub me down with salts, but hey, life's about having experiences, and I'm for it. But I'm glad you enjoyed that. But yes, they definitely have that, and you'll have that opportunity if you want. Again,
Yeah. You're,
it's
I'm
up to
not going to
you.
make anyone go get naked and do this, but if you want to get naked and do this, I'm telling you, it's amazing. And they probably, actually, they wear bathing suits because they're pretty modest.
Yeah.
Or they'll have like a separate women's area and a separate men's area. When we did it in Athens, it was men and women together and we wore bathing suits. And then when you got into the private room, you could take your bathing suit off and they were very modest and helpful.
Yeah,
But
so being comfortable. Yeah, no, that's great. Well, that'll be maybe we'll just get a whole group and do that to,
it's so great.
together in
Yeah.
there.
It was just like it was one of the best things I've ever done. And I like spas and massage and I've done a lot of weird things
Yeah.
like that. This was like just amazing. Well, I'm
Yeah.
excited. I hope that people will join us. The way it works is you can find all the itinerary on Defined Destinations website. We'll link that in the show notes here. You can see each particular day and what city you'll be in and what you'll be doing and what's included. I would imagine in most of these, breakfast is included because that's typically a sort of European thing to do.
Yeah.
And then, as Michael said, a lot of the meals are included. I do think when you're breaking open a new destination, it's important to kind of give people a sense of what they're going to be experiencing. And food is obviously a big part of that. And food is a big part of my journey on this trip. Turkish delights, if you've never had them, they're like this beautiful little jelly. Turkish coffee is
Oh,
very different. It's a much more intense coffee experience. So if you're a coffee drinker, you'll learn a lot.
love it.
Also, olive oil is very much present in Turkey. Like, again, I keep comparing it to Italy, but it is right across the water. So there's a lot of different olive oils that are used in Turkey, a lot of different spices. We're going to have fun. So the way this works is you can go online, you can put your deposit down, and full payment is due, I think, in January for this trip. You can book your own travel if you want to, meaning get your airfare to get to where we're going to meet for the trip, or you can use Michael's got a service that can help you book all your airfare. I personally like to control my airfare because I like to have the miles and I like to know exactly how I'm going to set things up on my itinerary. Kurt and I also like to get there like a day or two in advance just to get acclimated a little bit before the rest of you guys come so that I'm not super jet lagged. I'm on fire by the time you arrive. Um, and yeah, we do. There's going to be a lot of beautiful wine, I'm assuming too, because that's something that there's a great grape destination there. You don't know about Turkish wines yet, but you will. They exist. There's actually quite a lot of them,
Yeah.
and that's how it works. Michael, you've got a special offer just to get people that may be on the fence a little bit.
Yeah, well, we're excited. The trip again is April 9th through the 20th. And again, go online, just take a look at the website, look at some of the pictures. You'll absolutely love it. And then even all the things that we've talked about that aren't even mentioned in the itinerary. There's so many fun things. But if you're listening to this and you're new to register, you'll get $200 off per person if you register for the trip. Final payment is January 1st. So just think about that. So this would be a great gift for a loved one. Hey, we're going to go to Turkey, and I hear more and more people are they want to have a travel experience rather than having tangible things, about having experiences, especially with the ones you love. So hopefully this trip to Turkey, if you want to try something new and have just an amazing experience about a place you maybe haven't heard too much about, I think you'll absolutely love it. So just go to definedestinations.com. Like Stephanie said, she'll have the link there too. Again, it's April 9th through the 20th. You can register right there. If you need help with the airfare, we're happy to do that. So we make it pretty easy for you on that end. So we're gonna have a blast with a great group of people, and hopefully, you'll want to join this small group of no more than 15 people.
Is this the time that we tell people that are listening to maybe stay tuned? I mean, we do have a pretty epic October trip planned.
Yeah, no, I mean, go for it. We don't have all the dates totally confirmed, but yeah, go ahead.
Well, we're working on one of the trips. So I have taken people to Spain, I've taken people to Croatia, I've taken people to Cambodia, Thailand, and now Turkey. And the
Sicily
Croatia
too.
trip was really magical and people loved it. And I have a huge fondness for Croatia. Obviously, I've been there a lot. And there were a lot of people that wanted to go on that trip that didn't get the opportunity because it's a luxury experience. It's a luxury yacht. It's small rooms, or not small rooms, it's a small ship with actually the rooms were quite big
Yeah,
for a boat. And so we had so many people that wanted to do that itinerary again Michael said, "Hey, how about we do it again, but I'll add a couple of new things so that it's a new experience for you too, Stephanie, because there is, I've never been to Zagreb, which seems probably surprising since I've been to Croatia so many times. And there's a bunch of these finger lakes. What do they call those? Is it the Plašek Lakes?
Yeah, the Plavice Lakes National
Biće.
Park. Yep.
The national parks in Croatia are legendary. I mean, Mijet has one of the most beautiful national parks on it with a monastery in the middle of this lake. So we are going to be taking another small group. It'll be smallish. I think we had 28 on our last.
Yeah, enough to fill the boat, and the boat only can sleep like 34, so it's a small experience on that. But yeah, I'm excited to go back to that again. That's been one of our hot sellers, our Croatia trip. So with the Zagreb and the Blavice Lakes, and then our 7 night cruise, the Croatia trip will be great. So maybe you want to do 2 trips: our beautiful Turkey trip in the spring, and then come October we'll have this amazing trip to Croatia. So. Go out and have experiences, and hopefully you'll want to join us. I think you'll find great value, great meals, just and great people that to travel with.
And if you're listening and you want to explore Michael's other trips, because he takes trips with other people, not just me, and also he just guides trips himself. Just tell him that you're a friend of Stephanie's Dish so that he knows that you came from my
Yeah.
referral. But just like, yeah, if you want to sign up for a Christmas market or you're interested in heading to the Amalfi Coast, traveling with defined destinations is a really great opportunity. They do it extremely well. I have traveled a lot, and so I've had some good experiences and some not so good experiences. So I know that when you travel with Michael, you're in good hands. I'm still just missing our guide Peter, who was with us on our last Sicilian trip, who turns out has been your friend for like 25 years. I just miss him. He's such a character. I loved him so much.
Yeah, and that's great. Yeah, Peter's a good friend of mine for he's our Austrian guy, but he's got family in Italy and does some of our Central European trips. But again, like you said it too, it's again, it's more than just the sights. You're building relationships, even if you're not even looking for that. But it's fun to recall and all the good people you've met and the fun experiences you've had along the way. I love what I do, and hopefully it shows in our trips. It's all about having a great experience with great people. So I
Yeah.
encourage you, and you've been such a great part of the Defined Destinations family. Thank you, Stephanie, and
Yeah, I love
we're
it. I
we're
wouldn't
looking
work
forward to
with you
more.
if I didn't. People know I would have kicked you to the curb long ago.
Well,
And
thank you.
you've even converted Kurt. So I
Yeah,
mean,
that's great.
that's
So
not
yeah,
easy to
it's
do.
it's about having fun, and that's what we do. And we'd love to have you on any of our trips.
Yeah. All right, you guys. So I'll put all that information that you need in the links below. We are going to Turkey, and I hope you come. That's all I can say because I'm gonna probably be talking about it nonstop because I'm so excited.
That's great. I'm looking forward to it. Thanks again,
Thanks,
Stephanie.
Michael. Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.